Monday morning, welcome to My Sports World. Here on My Sports World, My Sports World is your sports world, and let's have a sports world together. Let's look at what happened this weekend with the two favorite teams that are featured on this channel, because I'm a fan of both, and we're talking about Manchester United and the 49ers. Two different sports, two different continents. Who cares? My teams, I like them. I like to talk about them. Let's dive into what happened this weekend, and together we can maybe find out some clues of what's coming up in the future. So stay tuned. Here we go. Let's start with saying that I'm going to make two videos. This is the first, and I'm going to start off with the 49ers. They played this weekend, and boy did they play. They beat the Raiders 34-10. Yeah, I know, it's a preseason game. Who cares? Well, we should care, because the 49ers lifted the lid off of something that can become such a disruptive thing in the NFL this coming season. Holy cow. If the 49ers continue to run this double QB setup, as they showed us a little bit of this weekend, a lot of team is going to be blown away. Not only is it not normal, and it's like we have seen that the Saints up for the last few years with Taysom Hill and Drew Brees have kind of like done some small stuff here and there, but not to this extent. We're talking about in comes Jimmy, runs a couple of plays, out he goes. In comes Lance, runs a couple of plays, out he goes. Jimmy comes back in. It is confusing as hell for the opponents. What are they gonna what are they gonna do in the pre-game talks, the pre-game preparations? I mean, they have to prepare for two different offenses. Don't worry about two different QBs, because the two different QBs becomes two different offensive. So you have one offense with Jimmy and one offense with Lance. They both have their own little skill set. They both have their ways of doing things. And add that with Kyle Shanahan preparing two different playbooks. Well, one playbook, but two different play sets of the playbook for each one. This is unheard of. What we saw in this game this weekend was kind of fun. I liked it. It was new. It was fresh. And you know what? We played good. And Jimmy played good. Lance played good. You know, it's always going to be some mistakes here and there, and, you know, incomplete balls. That's normal in football. Show me one QB that week after week after week after week, month after month, year after year, never throws an interception or an incomplete ball or a turnover. It's going to happen. We have to take it. It's part of the game. But what we saw this weekend was Jimmy having confidence. We haven't seen that in a long, long time. He looked confident. He even running a freaking 11, 12-yard touchdown. Hey, we take that. That's good sign. He looked happy. He looked confident. He looked like he had the passion of the game again. He was not afraid. He didn't protect his ankle, his back, or his arms, or even his head. I mean, he dove head first over the goal line. So I have to say that what I saw from Jimmy was encouraging. It was great. I hope he can stay healthy for most of the part of this season, because that's been his last 2 or 3 years, has been his kind of like downfall, has been his injury. Well, I don't want to say injury prone, but he has had some issues with injuries. So I hope he can stay healthy the whole season. That would be great. And when you sprinkle in what Trey Lance can offer, oh my God! Because let me tell you, Trey Lance, in my mind, played the series that he played good. the media and the pundits and stuff like that, they like to focus on what was not so good. The game where Kyle gets asked, well, what positive things do you pick out from what was not so good game? The game was good. We won 34-10, and then people are gonna say, yeah, but it's the Raiders. They played the second and the third and the fourth stringers. Well, so did we many times in the game. Didn't hold us back from winning. Didn't hold us back from thumping the Raiders 34-10. So, and if you think that we went all lights out and they didn't, think again. The players on Raiders, they tried just as hard to qualify and impress their coaching staff. So, the pundits, the journalists, they have an agenda. There's people on YouTube who say they are journalists and wants to be taken as a journalist, who has an agenda, who does nothing but talking negative. And the sad part is that he's dragging in genuine fans into the thing. I'm not going to name my name. He knows who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Let them have their agenda. Let them be. Just ignore them. That's what you should do, is ignoring them. What we saw was exciting stuff. We saw something that was not drilled on in a game scenario before. Maybe they have done it in camp or training behind closed doors. They've been talking about it, been drawing it up on a board. But this was a game where they wanted to test out a few things. They wanted to test out, how do we as a team react to using two QBs in and out, switching in the same, series. How do we as a team, how do our offensive line react? How do the QBs react? How do the running back react? And the wide receivers? How do the team react to this 2 QB system and frequent 2 QB system? Active 2 QB system. Not like what Saints did back in the day. Screw that. That's not even 2 QB system. This is a 2 QB system. How did they react? I want to say pretty good. If this was the first game session with real enforceable rules, real judges, a real opponent, we did good. I think we got some answers, or we got some questions. What can we do better, and what can we improve? What did go really good, and what was a success? Based on what we saw, I think we had a lot of success with it. And this is what I think kind of like made Raiders so bad. It took them completely on the wrong foot. It's like they hadn't gone out of bed yet, and they were like, they had prepared for Jimmy for a certain amount of time, and then they had prepared for what was coming after, which would be Lance. I feel that they had prepared for Jimmy Garoppolo to start the first quarter and play the series and snaps and stuff in the first quarter. They had prepared for Lance coming in the second quarter, which didn't happen. They got a dose of Jimmy and a dose of Lance right off the bat. This shook the Raiders to the core. You could see how Gruden on the sideline was like, I could see it in his eyes. I could see it in his behavior when they did a close-up on him. He looked confused. He looked shocked. He looked like he didn't know what to do. And so did the players on Raiders. The players on the Raiders team, when Lance was in, looked lost and confused. And when Jimmy was in, they all kind of looked like they knew what they were doing. But they didn't have an answer they couldn't stop it. That's the thing, because our O-line, our offensive line, was really tuned in and good, both with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. And they protected both QBs pretty darn good. That was the reason why Jimmy could run in a touchdown like it was. He was not contested until he crossed the line of the goal line. That's when the two players came in They came in right after the goal line, tried to stop it. It was fantastic. Now, I'm getting the hiccups there. Let's look at the defense. I think the defense played really good, both in the first, second, third, and fourth quarter. Well, I couldn't see the fourth quarter because where I live, when that happened, when we started the fourth quarter, they cut it and they cut in Giants and the Patriots because where I live. So they kind of like chopped out the 49ers game. But by then, the game was already won. There was no turning back on that. So I can't really talk much about the fourth quarter. But from what I saw, 3/4 of the game, it was a total dominance. And let me tell you, I believe that the Raiders this year they're going to be a good team. They're not going to be a walkover for anyone. But I see them maybe like a 8 and 9, 9 and 10, 9 and 8, or maybe if they do the really good, they can become a 10 and 7 team. Because I don't think they have the worst roster. They don't have the worst roster in the NFL. They are a middle team, and their schedule is not that bad either, from what I remember, if I remember correctly. So for us to beat them this convincingly is a good sign. And we had we forced them to go 3 and out. Yes, I know that was like the first stringers of the defense, but there was a defensive player that didn't play much today or this weekend. So when the team is set with the 53-man roster is set and we fine-tune everything, look out. Our defense is going to play lights out this year. Our offensive line, I think, has a better position this year and are better conditioned this year than last year. Now, the only weakness, or maybe not weakness, but the weakest point or the weakest link in our team maybe is depth on certain places. If we get some injuries, we might see a little dip in the performance here and there. But that's about it. The players we have, I think, are really good from what I have seen. And I think that with Kyle's planning, with Kyle's offensive mind, we're going to be imposing a lot of points on teams. And I hope that we do, when we get to a comfortable lead, that we still keep on going. Just pound it on. Put on another 7 points. If we have a 20-point lead, just put on another 7. Don't stop. I hope that we get a little bit ruthless this year. 50 burgers, 40 burgers. Let's do it. Let's not play it safe. Even if we lead with 20 points and there's a quarter left, let's just go out and blaze them. I believe that this team can go far. I have a feeling that we are maybe a 14-3, 15-2 team this year. Anything better than that, of course, it's like it. If we can do a perfect season, let's do it. But I think that we are a 14-3 and 15-2, and we're going to win the division that we're in, NFC West. And I think the second team in our group will be the Rams. I think the Rams will be the hardest team to go up against. I don't see the Cardinals or the Seahawks being as strong as the Rams. So we have to fight with the Rams. But I see us win the home game against the Rams. The away team game, I don't know. But I see us beating both the Seahawks and the Cardinals, both away and home. So we're gonna almost sweep the division that we're in. That means we will be in the playoffs, And I think we will, from what I've seen from the other teams, the only team that can really give us a problem in the early playoffs before we get to a possible Super Bowl would be if we meet Tampa Bay. They are probably, I want to say, in the NFC. In the NFC, it is the 49ers and the Tampa Bay. Maybe the Packers. Those three teams, I think, are the three favorites to advance through the playoffs. And the team with the best day will go on to be the number one team from the NFC. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Buffalo Bills are the AFC team this year to beat. I think the Bills can give the Chiefs a run for the money. Baltimore can. I think Baltimore is an outsider, but I think we will have a good season this year. I think the 49ers will do good. Based on this preseason that I've seen, it's been one of the better preseasons over the last decade or two. Maybe not result-wise and scoring-wise, but from what I have seen, I am very, very encouraged. And I don't care what pundits say. I don't care what the media say. I don't care what wannabe journalists on YouTube say. So that's it. I think we are good. We're settling in good, and we think we are in a good place, both mentally, physically, and tactically. Bring it on. Bring on the season. Bring it on. I have no doubt that we will win all the games until the bye week. Who's going to be the quarterback? You pick. I think they're going to play two in and out quarterback switches, and it's gonna drive the opponents nuts. Trust me, guys. I enjoy making this video, putting them out on YouTube for you guys. My channel is going to try to be on the positive side, but of course with critic if that's needed. But I'm not going to sit here and bash the team and bash players and bash coaches like a lot of the others do. So if you like that and you want to be a part of this, please subscribe and hit the like button and invite others to join as well. Until next time, guys, take care. One more video is coming up, but that's about Manchester United. So see you on the other side. Come on.